Hi, I'm Kia the Nordic Welshman and this is Buddy. So the first things first, I just want to change the setup that I have now with the tarp and make it into something a little nicer for an overnighter. You right there? Bit hot? It's a really nice day today. I want to get a bit closer to the fire so I can keep the fire going at night time and try to keep the warmth going. I'm going to set up the tarp so I have a nice roof, and hopefully the heat will reflect up inside the roof and reflect down also into where I'm sleeping. This is the first time I'm trying out this setup. I haven't done this before, but should work out fine. Buddy. Come on, off you go. Buddy. Oh. Good boy. So that's like the basic footprint of where the tarp's gonna go. I still need to collect some supporting wood, so luckily this field needs a little bit of a prune. So I'm gonna go under prune some trees and use those as my stakes. So let's go do that now. What I'm looking for is, I'm 6'4", so I'm looking for something about 2 meters in length, 2 straight-ish pieces. So because this is a working field and we have to drive the tractor around, it's important to take away the low-hanging branches. As you can see, the branch is pretty low to my head, so if we're trying to get a tractor to drive under here, it's going to be a bit of a problem. Looks like I have enough. There's a nice straight piece in there that I can use at least for one side. Pretty chunky piece of wood, but let's see if we can work with it. A long time ago when I was traveling in Australia, I worked as an arborist, so this is something that I've done before, and I know how to leave the cuts in a way that will help the tree to heal. So just cutting it in the right spot and making sure that there's no infection for the living tree. Yeah, let's get started on that. I have a nice long branch now. I'm going to take it off right here, but I can't just take it off where I want to go because the weight of the branch will swing down under and it can tear the bark right back, and that's really not good for the plant, or it's really not good for the tree. So instead I'm going to try cross cuts because I can't get my saw underneath it to make a break cut. So I'm going to do one from one side and one from the other side, and they'll be overlapping as so, like this, and then I should be able to just snap it off sideways, and then I can make a clean cut. So let's try that out. Okay. So if you leave enough timber, you can still hold the branch up, and then you can just peel it away. Now, this cut is very bad for infection for the tree, so I'm going to cut it right there where it's connected to the branch, and that'll be a nice smooth cut that the tree will find easy to heal. It's quite a ways up. So it's a little bit out of my reach, so I'm going to use a little bit of paracord and this to extend my handle, and it'll have more reach. It's a clove hitch to get me started. And you know, I've got many video ideas to come. One of them is to take you through some of the most essential knots for camping and bushcraft. So if you're interested in that video, please write that down in the comments below, and I'll make sure I get it done. There it is, makeshift long handle saw. All right, let's give this a go. All right, so extension works. That's that tree taken care of. I've got one pole which will be long enough, but I need to go and get another one. So let's go to the next location. Sometimes you get lucky, and today is my lucky day. There was this piece of dead wood right here, nice and long. So I think I'm just going to use it directly. Okay, so I've got my two pieces now. I'm going to cut them to length, and then we'll get on with finishing off the tarp setup. Okay, there's one, and then use this one to measure the next. All right, so the first thing I need to do is to peg the tarp, and then I will use my upright later on. Maybe bring it forward just a little bit more. I've staked down the corners now. Next thing is to put up the poles. So I got this from my wood stores. Last little bit now, put this front piece in, and we got ourselves a shelter. Cool. Alright, let's see if my hammock fits underneath there. It may sound strange to say I'm setting up a hammock under here, but it's a travel hammock which has a waterproof base to it and also has a fly sheet, which is really nice because then you're protected from the bugs also. Let's see how that goes. I'll bring you in a little bit. DD Travel Hammock in brown. Yeah, so this is also a first for me to set this up. So on the ground, I've set it up in the tree obviously, but it's my first time setting it up on the ground, so I'm quite curious how it's going to fit. You okay, bud? Yeah. good. That's the final setup. So you got the hammock there with the mosquito net. Nice tarp set up over top. If it rains, I'm going to be okay. And now to put my bedding inside, I have this inflatable mat here. And I've got a Kathmandu down sleeping bag to put on top. So with these mats, they have foam inside. And the idea is that when you undo the valve here, that the foam expands and blows up the sleeping pad. But I always end up doing this just by blowing into it. And they say you shouldn't do that because it creates moisture inside, which can lead to things like molding, but let's not worry about that. With this hammock, I actually have two choices. I can put it inside here, or if I wanted to, I could also just put it under here. There's a double layer bottom to this. So yeah, it's just down to your own personal preference, I guess. Here's my sleeping bag. It's always good to get your sleeping bag out as soon as possible because especially with these down sleeping bags, they need time to loft, they need time to spring back, and that pocket of air around you is what keeps you warm. There we go. Let's have a sneak peek. Not too shabby. Not too shabby.